If you've ever raised little humans, you know that having 5 minutes standing in front of the freezer with a spoon in one hand and a box of ice cream in the other is about as close as it gets to peace on earth some days. At that point in my life, I wasn't even daydreaming about crossing county lines by myself, let alone making an active plan to take a solo road trip across the US. After the kids were raised, and I wasn't juggling all those daily crazy pieces like family and work and volunteering and church and sports and so many activities, when all that was done, well, then there's the what in the world are we going to have for dinner piece? Oh, my least favorite part. Anyway, when all that was done, I found that my identity actually took a pretty big hit. Can you relate to that? Maybe now you're back in front of the freezer and you have plenty of time to just down the whole gallon of ice cream. Don't do it! You may be floundering a bit, and maybe you're struggling to find your footing again, but please know that there is plenty of hope. So let's talk about what I consider a pretty thrilling and fulfilling next step, and I can help you with every little bit of it. And just a side note, if you are in the midst of all that chaos right now, don't despair. Your time's coming, and it's coming quickly. And next week, I have the perfect video for you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. I'll post it in the description when it's available. Not only that, but wherever you might be on the readiness spectrum, I'm sharing my 5-day Going Solo Quick Start Guide. And that is designed to help you take those first tentative steps on your own time. It's free and it's fun, and I've packed it full of practical steps to help you get going. Here's the link, and it's also in the description below. So here's what I want you to know. For many of you, your time is now. And a solo road trip just might be the perfect way to rediscover that person that you've been too busy to notice. Hey, I'm Bing from Wonder Bing Travel, and I have driven over 60,000 solo road tripping miles in the last 7 years. And before that, not a one. I've been where you are, and I've rediscovered wonder, joy, and a sense of purpose that I didn't even know that I was missing. Today I'm giving you 3 brilliant reasons why I road trip, but more importantly, why you should too. I'm also incredibly passionate about one simple, but maybe a little bit shocking way that you can immediately improve your time away, whether you're going for a day or you're going for a month. I will share that at the end. So the first brilliant reason that I road trip. All right, so I tried to come up with like a catchy title for this, but I couldn't. So in the end, I decided to just speak truth and call it what it is. And it's the best, and it's just freedom. Yes, freedom. So for this to make the most sense and to be the most effective, let me give you just a little bit of a backstory, okay? So for me, the road has always represented freedom and wonder, and it's a chance to shift my attentions from the noise of everyday life to the wonder in the beauty of creation. It's always a combination of that awesome creation that is around me, but then peace that occurs inside of me, and that draws me to relax and also relish each moment in the presence of my Creator. And yes, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to approach this always from that as my foundational piece. So if that's not you, I hope that you can still see truth in that for yourself. But also, if you relate to me as a Christian, then this will make even more sense and be even more beautiful. But let's be honest, the first road trip that I took, it was pretty intimidating. I had some healthy fear, and looking back, I was utterly unprepared. That very first adventure is burned in my brain. And when I pulled out of the driveway, it felt like I was stepping into the unknown. And that was exactly what I wanted. It was exciting above all else and freeing. As the miles rolled by, I felt lighter. Every turn, every curve in the road became a little bit of a victory for me. I know now that I was doing something a little bit brave and beautiful. And in that process, I reclaimed a part of myself that had been buried under the busyness of mom and wife life for all those years. So in my book, there's Wonder Around the Bend. It's an inspiring guide to solo road tripping. I wrote about this moment of transformation, and I'm just going to read a super tiny little bit to you to see if it resonates with you. I slowed way down, took time, opened my eyes and my ears, I shut my mouth, I turned off the noise in my head and on my phone, and I began to look around. By looking out, I slowly discovered all the lost parts of myself, little by little, mile after mile. It was a journey of reclamation, of shedding what had bound and diminished me, and of pursuing wonder. The experience was healing, intoxicating, and transformative. That's the beauty of solo travel. It gives you space to breathe, to think, and then to dream also. And while it might feel daunting at first, that feeling of utter freedom, it takes over pretty quickly. It's that freedom to make choices, to see and experience all those things that you like. But it's also freedom from your everyday life. Even if you live the most lovely and wonderful life, taking time away to explore, to be quieter, and open your eyes to really see the world that we've been blessed with, it's going to change your perspective. You won't return the same as you left because travel changes us. A solo road trip is a chance to explore the things that make you feel alive. And let's be clear, this isn't selfish. It's about reconnecting and refreshing and reclaiming all those words, who you were made to be so that you can show up more fully in the life that you have. When you're driving and you're seeking wonder around every bend, an amazing transformation happens. You find yourself looking out instead of in and focusing on what's all around you and not yourself. A solo road trip teaches you to be present. You just can't help it. It just teaches you to be present in the moment. And then a funny thing kind of happens along the way. You become more fully you. Strange. It's freedom. And that leads us straight into the second brilliant reason why you should take a road trip, and that is increased confidence. So let's address the fears because I know they're real. You might worry about safety, about loneliness, or just feeling like you're out of your comfort zone. The pressure of decision making is also a big one for people. Those are valid concerns, and I'm here to tell you, you can prepare for those. In fact, my 5-day Going Solo Quick Start guide that I mentioned earlier, I spend one whole day on fear that leads to confidence. So for now, here's a quick overview on these two powerful forces in your life, but grab the guide so you can get a deeper look at it. First, let's talk about fear. Fear is crippling. I can't think of a better word than that. It keeps us from being who God created us to be. It takes multiple forms and it targets us at our most vulnerable. So fear of failure, fear of loss, maybe for you it's fear of judgment or of not being smart enough, pretty enough, good enough, or capable enough. We all can relate somewhere. Most often, fear lies to us and we believe the lies. And believing those lies, though, I think there's consequences to that. We allow fear to steal from us. We give it unauthorized permission to rob us of our peace and of our happiness, of our joy and of our contentment. So what's the result of that? Paralysis. You stand frozen, like you're unable to move in any hopeful direction. Yuck. Here's a fascinating thing to think about. You weren't born that way. You weren't born afraid. It's learned behavior, and it likely took years for it to take root in your life. So you have a choice. You can choose to let it stop you from pursuing freedom, wonder, peace, joy, or you can choose a path that will lead to confidence. So I can promise you that taking a solo road trip will ensure that you will arrive home more confident than when you left. It's a fact. You may be taking those fears with you, but you're going to kick many of them to the curb as you go. You're going to make decisions. You're going to put on your big girl pants and enjoy new experiences. You're going to be independent, and you're going to be brave. Every fear that you overcome on the road, it just becomes part of your growth. And the freedom and the confidence that you gain, they're worth every moment of that uncertainty. I've done tons of writing and a lot of videos about fear and the confidence that can come out of it. I'll put the link to a playlist here that will help you with the nitty-gritties of that. Check it out. Okay, so the third brilliant reason why I solo road trip, and why you should too, is the many unexpected benefits and blessings that come out of it. No matter how much planning you do or how little, no doubt you're going to unearth benefits of being on your own. So I'm going to give you a quick list here for those of you who love a list. It's not comprehensive, but it should make you happy if you're a list lover. I personally love this list, and I could just add many, many, many more things to it. So the first thing is that you can take whatever you want. The whole car is yours to pack as you please. I love that. No one's going to eat your snacks. You don't have to share anything. You get to decide when it's time for a bathroom break, and food for one person is less expensive. You get to make all the decisions. Again, you get to make all the decisions. There's no one to criticize your driving or your sense of direction, and getting lost, it just becomes relative, and only you get to decide if it really matters. This is a big one. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, which means that you can travel at your own pace, that you're on your own route, you can eat when you feel like it, and stay wherever you want and wherever you feel most comfortable. Also, if you're in need of some sort of healing and that's part of your journey, then there's time and space for that as well. If you're working through fear and anxiety, you have quiet and calm, but also opportunities to stretch yourself. And if you are a mom or a daughter or a wife, or you take care of anything or anyone, know this: you're not responsible for the well-being of one other person on planet Earth while you are on your road trip. How lovely is that? Because we all need a break. There's more. I feel like this is an infomercial. In fact, I will argue that the most important benefit and blessing of a solo road trip, it actually is one that you can't really measure quite so easily. And it won't be noticeable until you find yourself back in your own zip code. For me, this is what that looks like. Seeking wonder through traveling has left its mark on me. My perspective has shifted, and I better understand my place in the world. I am considerably more confident, and I'm mentally stronger. And most importantly, as a Christian, my eyes have been opened to see the grace and the glory of God more clearly as it plays out in my life and in the world that I explore. These are the moments that make solo road trips so transformative. They remind you that life is full of wonder, and that wonder is waiting for you around every bend. All right, I promised you a bit of a shocking way that promises to increase the transformative power of your solo road trip, and I mean it. And it is taking a break from the world in your pocket. Well, we all carry access to every piece of information on the planet in our pockets. Our phones hold enough chaos to drown out every good intention that you may have to seek peace and freedom on the road. So, my friend, I beg you, resist the urge to let it consume you. Instead, make an active decision to turn it off, to turn off the noise. Yes, you will need it for things. I would never travel without my phone. But what I need it for are things like my GPS, occasional music or podcast, and touching base occasionally with loved ones back home. That's pretty much it. No social media, not getting caught up in the news and what's going on in the world. It's time to shut it off for a while. So at the end of the day, solo road tripping has changed my life. And as long as I'm able, I'm going to continue to seek freedom and wonder around the bend. And you need to try it at least once. I guarantee that you're not going to regret it. If you feel overwhelmed by the prospect, start with the guide that I offered. Again, here's the link, and it's in the description below. And next time, I'm going to show you how to mini wonder and dream small. These are great ways for new solo road trippers to explore in small doses. If you'd like to see what it really looks like to solo road trip, I'm going to pop a video from my Summer of Wonder vlog here for you. It's real and it's raw. It's the good and the bad. It's just what happens during the course of the day. And if you missed earlier videos in this series, which is how to plan a perfect road trip in 2025, I'll put that link here as well. So how about leaving a comment and telling me one thing that excites you about potentially taking your first solo road trip? I hope to see you on the road.